Ofa. Hello, everybody out there in the iRacing world that tunes into the Elite Series. Tonight is the last race in the round. We're going to set the four for. Where do we race next week, Nick?
Oh, where do we go for the finale? We go to Phoenix.
Maybe Phoenix. I don't know. We'll see next week. Tune in next week and you'll see where we're racing.
The mystery. We roll the dice.
Anyway,
Pull out of the
tonight
hat.
is the Byrd 150 in the Elite Series, in the Elite SMRI Grand National Series. And the points battle is very tight as we have Burrell, Fody, Tooker, and Tate Lytle are the first four. And then it is a 4-point gap to Garrison Hogan, 2 more points to Hank Steinmiller. And behind him is Jeff Green and Chad Frankenfield. They are in must-wins tonight, as well as Joshua Clark. So we got a couple guys trying to win, Nick. We got a couple guys trying to points race. What do you think?
Yeah, we should be in for a pretty exciting night here. These cut line races are always seem to have some drama unfold somewhere throughout the race. And looking at our starting lineup here, I mean, Garrison Hogan's off to a good start, starting third. Tate's up there, starting fourth. Looks like the big loser, so to say, in qualifying is Chad Frankenfield, starting 23rd. So he's going to have to dig himself out of a little hole to start this race. So we'll see if he's able to make his way up through the field cleanly without, gathering any damage along the way, getting involved in any incidents. But yeah, I think this track always seems to put on a good show, especially if we have some multi-groove racing here tonight. So I think we're going to be in for a good race.
Yeah, and Chad Frankenfield's been really good on the mountain halves. Just to get everybody up to speed here a little bit on the strategy for tonight, it's going to be 98 laps. You got 4 sets of tires set on the car, plus 3 in the pits. So, you kind of got to be smart about when you use your tires if we get yellows. If we don't get a bunch of yellows, it's going to be pretty straightforward. But if we get a bunch of yellows, strategy could go a bunch of different places for tonight. So what do you think we'll see tonight, Nick? Lots of yellows, lots of green, maybe yellows early, long green run late. What kind of strategy do you think is going to be having to play out tonight?
I don't know. I didn't really get a chance to look at the typical fuel run here. I think we run 100% fuel tank, so I'm guessing it's going to be like 50 to 60 laps somewhere in there. So this might be a one-stop race. It just all depends on how bad these tires get. Sometimes we come here, we see tire wear not really falling off as fast as we typically do, and then other times this track, old Atlanta surface, just seems to shred those tires, and we see times fall off a second and a half, 2 seconds within 10, 15 laps. So.
Yeah, and everybody's learning out here as we're getting ready to go green with Weeks here. Everybody's learning this is the first race on the new build. So everybody's going to be learning the first half of this race. But the green is out. Good launch there for Weeks. Looks like some guys had a little bit of wheel spin there. Have to remember that later if we have some restarts on some old tires.
I think we're going to go 3 wide for 4th place already here. Hank Steinmiller shooting the top.
Well, Hank's one of those guys. I believe he's in the must-win, right? Or no, he's close enough to be able to get their own points. Hank pulls right up on the back of Ethan Burrell there. Sorry, I was bringing up the point.
I don't know, Chris. I mean, if you're up here in the lead, are you kind of a guy to be in tire conservation mode right off the bat, or are you just going for it, get all the spots you can right here off the restart?
Man, I don't know. We just saw Weeks move up to the top and basically let the 56 take the lead. I'm kind of... What has Weeks got going on here?
Maybe Weeks is going in tire conservation mode here. You know
what it is? You know what it is? That's 2 teammates that he just let go who are in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, could be it, too. Hank Steinmiller's going to maybe shoot the top again, 3 wide here.
Hank says if you want to back up, keep backing up.
Gets them both, too. Up to 3rd.
The fact that we're seeing multiple lines work right from the drop here, I think that's going to lend itself to be good for us tonight to have a really good race.
I'm hoping they'll come into a factor later, but yeah, I mean, right off the start, you kind of get a feel for how this race is going to go. You know, you don't know if it's going to go green right off the bat for a long time, or if we're going to have some cautions, you know, real quick. You could roll the dice and say you want to go entire conservation mode, but then if you get a couple short runs, I mean, you could back up farther than you want to be, giving up too much time.
Well, you talk about that bad qualifying run from Chad. I just saw him rip the fence through 1 and 2 and get a big run and go to the bottom of some cars down into 3. So he is obviously, we know Chad's in a must-win. He is digging. Like, it's kind of single-filed out, except for where Chad is. Right there around him, it's kind of packed up 2 by 2.
One of the good things about being in a must-win, though, if there are any benefits, is that you can kind of roll the dice, play different strategy. You can, because you don't always want to play the same strategy as other guys you're racing up there in the points. Because if you just do the same thing they do all the time, you're not going to have any advantage on them, or have a chance to get up there. So coming into this in a must-win might end up benefiting Chad at some point tonight.
Yeah, but he kind of put himself in this spot too. A couple weeks back, remember the different strategy he played when he didn't really need to, and it got him in trouble.
He is ripping that top, though. Oh, man. I wasn't sure if he's going to get the nose there or not.
It's getting after it, I think is what we call that.
So I think safe to say Chad is not entire conservation mode off the bat. Gonna shoot the middle.
This is, man, you have really got to manage your moves if you're Chad coming through this traffic. I think the 42 cut him a big break there.
It's like he's one of the few cars up there ripping the top right now. I think everybody's kind of playing it safe on the bottom.
Yeah, he's aggressive. He's being aggressive, that's for sure. Looks like, is that a little bit of a battle for the lead, or is the 56 just pulled? That is a side-by-side battle for the lead, 56, 37. It's Garrison versus, and Ethan just backs out and lets him go. Before I could even finish the second half of that battle, Ethan was already waving him by.
And Garrison is on the outside looking in. He was coming into tonight 4 points behind Tate, below the cut line. So not in a must-win by any means, but leading all these laps, staying up front definitely helps.
Yeah, anytime you're out front, that's a good thing. I do want to take this opportunity to congratulate you on your win last Wednesday to lock into the championship race in the Cup side. Taking Wednesday off this week, just a little Sunday drive for you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be fun to just kind of relax for that and let you guys duke it out for that last playoff spot there, or last two, I should say. Not be involved in any of the drama, but.
Yeah, I'm sitting in a good spot. I think I'll be able to join you as long as nothing catastrophic happens.
But it should be a fun race to watch. So tune in Wednesday night to see the Cup Series go at it, and our cutoff race for the championship.
And that is at Charlotte. I do know that.
Chad working on, who's that? Thomas Sherman in the one car. See Jeff Green, the C2 Freight machine right there in front of him.
Yeah, C2 Freight does a lot for Elite. I believe they're coming back next year. Great sponsor. Jeff Green's a great guy. I think we're going to see him find victory lane next season and be up front on a more consistent basis. Oh, Chad's in the wall. He might have got away with one there. That didn't look like it was too hard.
And that's one of the risks of running that high line this early in the race. You go up there. It might be a little more speed up there past some cars, but it's one mistake and swipe the wall just like that.
Yeah, that looked like he got away with it. It didn't look like he hit it too hard, and it was mostly with the rear, maybe. That's just a product of Atlanta racing, though. On a longer run, Nick, you've done it, I've done it. You just kind of lose grip in the front or the rear, or both sometimes coming off of two, and it just, next thing you know, you're right up against that safer barrier. Got Chad here looking underneath Vincent. Not quite enough to get off of there on the bottom side. Got Tate coming up behind him. Fody behind Tate. He's got Chad side by side with Josh Adams. Been a rough go of it here the last few weeks for Josh. Couldn't make all the races, so he is not a factor in the playoffs.
See Chad, giving up some spots now. He saw the one of Thomas Sherman pass him back. 95, Josh Adams getting by.
Yeah, that. Oh, he's in the wall again. Oh,
yeah.
That's pretty rough. That's a pretty hard wall hit there. That's probably going to take all the speed out of the car.
And yeah, I mean, we were talking about it a little bit earlier. I mean, some guys, you go into tire conservation mode right away. I think Chad was kind of going for it early, and I think it looks like he's paying the price for it right now.
Yeah, he's in a must-win. He knows he's in a must-win. He knows the pressure's on. And he bit off a little more than he could chew, and he got away with it. It probably did affect the handling that first hit, but it wasn't major. Like, it probably could have easily been fixed and got the speed back in the car. But now, after that last one, that was pretty hard. He was in it well past the safer barrier when it's concrete and doing more damage. Looks like he's given that wall some space at this point.
But I mean, not too far in front of Chad is our pole sitter, Matthew Weeks. I mean, he started first, dropped back to 9th already about 3.5 seconds behind our leader. So I don't know if he's, fast in qualifying, maybe struggling in race trim, or if he's just really conserving those tires right now.
I don't know. He's giving up a lot of time. Ooh, Vincent's going to slide up and almost hit the wall. Tate's going to go get the 2 for 1. Fody's going to try to do it as well. Tate's going to get clear. Fody is still going to be trapped underneath Vincent. Head down into turn 1. Vincent should get a big run off of 2.
Fody's going to try to, I thought he was going to try to slide up.
I think Fody's going to have it clear. Yep, Fody's going to get clear. Vincent is sliding backwards here. Tells me he might have abused the tires just a little bit.
And Vincent driving that recognizable Kurt Busch Sharpie throwback.
Yeah, I think that was his car for a throwback race at some point, and the paint scheme was so good, I think he fell in love with it. He just said, I'm going to keep running. Oh, Thornquist, what a save. What a save by Chad Thornquist right there.
Kind of surprised to see guys getting loose out there. I thought it would be, by judging what drivers like Josh Adams said before I talked to him at the end of practice, it sounded like the setup pretty tight, but see Thornquist sliding there out of 2.
I have been told just in the last few laps by one of these drivers out here that the longer they run, the rear tires, especially the right rear, seems to be wearing pretty good. They are starting to slide around on the corner exit pretty good.
See, Jeff Green starting to run these guys down. I mean, we've been focused on them for a while, and Jeff Green, Jarrell Campbell, Matthew Weeks all starting to come into the picture now, and Vincent and Chad Thornquist here.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to all our sponsors here real quick. Tonight's the Byrd Racing 150 from Atlanta. We are 21 laps in. I don't know when you would think about pitting here, Nick. We could be getting close for people to pit if you're going to try to split it up. Between lap 25 and 30, if you're going to pit twice, is probably when you would want to try to pit. Gerald's going to enter right on Thornquist right here. All the way through the corner, right on his back end. And so those guys that are going to two-stop this race, it's getting close to that time where you would want to pit. C2 for 8, though, Jeff Green, We're right on board with Gerald Campbell here, trying to work underneath Thornquist. Ooh, really, really loose. It looked like it was a push loose there, Nick.
Yeah, that's what it's kind of looking like. I'm just looking at the lap times, and our top 12 are all within a tenth of a second of each other. So that's how equal this is right now.
Oh, Thornquist is in the wall halfway down the front stretch. Oh, he's wrecking hard here, maybe. Chad Thornquist.
Oh, still in the wall.
And while all that's been going on, Chad Frankenfield pitted, did a pass through. He was speeding. So I'm not real sure how this is going to work out for Chad.
Well, both Chads having this shit at the same time here. Man, that could have been bad. Look back on it.
Yeah, I'll let you take this call here down the front stretch, Nick.
It's like he's up by the wall. Up by the wall. Caught a little bit of the wall by the finish line and did a good job hanging onto it, not wrecking it, but man, it's like that Atlanta trial struck again right there.
It's very easy to wreck there on those older tires. But I knew you would enjoy that call a lot more than I would, so I wanted to give that one to you.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Chad coming off of pit road now. Not sure if he finally made his pit stop there or not.
I mean, just sometimes that wall, you just get a little bit on the front stretch and you can't get off of it right there, Chris.
Oh yeah, you get up there and you're trying to just let people go. You know you're backing up, or you know what you're struggling with, and it's one of those things.
Well, I've seen it happen where sometimes it shoots you right back down the track, but that time he's able to keep it up there on the wall, not take anybody else with him. So good job by Chad there.
Yeah, I saw that happen once too, and he took out another driver there in the top 5, and both cars really had a terrible go of it.
Tate making the pass on Hank Steinmiller here. Trying to make the pass on Hank. I thought he was going to have him clear right there. Hank a little loose up top.
Yeah, but Tate's got that push loose going on, so he's not going to be able to do anything off of 4.
And it looks like there's speed up top if you can hang on to it, but I think it just kills your tires if you just do it too long. You kind of gotta pick it. You have to pick and choose when you want to do it.
Yeah, Hank's doing enough though. Fode's going to actually try to get around Tate now. See if he can work the bottom. Not going to happen, but a big run there. See if Tate maybe could do a slide job down here. That might be the way to try to make this pass. Tate is going to try it. Let's see. Nicely done there by Tate. Let's see if Fode learned anything about passing.
Chad's able to get one lap back there. I don't know if he's still one
he's
down
just
or if
sitting
he's
right in front of the leader. I think that damage is really hurting the speed in that race car, because on fresh tires, he should be just blasting away. So it looks like, as for now, this race has kind of got a green flag feel to it. And we are seeing just lines everywhere from the bottom to the wall. Really love to see this. Back around Jeff Green right now is a great battle as well. I mean, you can't leave this battle for the lead, but they've been 3 wide a little bit. Just looks like that car on the inside cannot clear that car on the outside without just really overdriving the corner.
Oh, you know what? Chad didn't even take tires. He came in the first time. I was kind of confused on why he wasn't pulling away. He came in the first time, locked the tires up, missed pit road, came down again to serve the penalty, and then that was it. He decided to not come down a third time and take tires. So he's out there on tires he started this race with.
So that just tells you what, a couple laps on pit road, his tires got a chance to cool down a little bit. So he's still got the same pace as these leaders for now.
Especially after spinning on coming in pit road. I mean, come in and have a slide like that and still be out here matching the pace of our leaders. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, but he dug himself such a hole now that it's going to be really hard to get out of. But we have seen he has gotten away from that wall at this point. He, second time he hit that pretty hard, he's decided to leave some space. Man, Vincent Isabella just got really loose down the front stretch coming through the tri-oval. Garrison leaving that right rear hang out there a little bit. Looks like they might be closing back in on Chad just a little bit right in front of him. And basically right now, just to put a bow on Frankenfield out in front of them, he's already one lap down. He's trying not to go 2 laps down. You can come back from 1 lap down. You can recover and try to put yourself back up in there. Like you can fight back from 1 down. But if he loses the second lap, man, it's really hard to fight back from multiple laps down. And so I expect to see him fight these leaders pretty hard right here. Everybody's kind of strung out. I look for some pit stops anytime. And look at that, as they get to him, Chad's went up by the wall again. He's trying to make sure Garrison doesn't get the big run and get to his outside.
And he's trying to keep the leaders behind him, put them in dirty air, maybe a little bit. I think it's going to be a tough task to deal with for, I think these leaders are probably trying to one-stop this, so I would expect to see them around lap 48, 50, somewhere in that range. So Chad's going to have to still do this for another 15 laps or so.
Yeah, and at this point, we have had guys pit and everything, so Chad would not even get the lucky dog at this point. So losing a second lap, and he, like I said, he would not be the beneficiary of the lucky dog. It would, for all intents purposes, end his race. That would end his night as far as a chance to win, and for him a chance to make the championship 4. Oh, Garrison, did he get a piece of it?
Oh yeah, he got a little bit. And actually, another kind of big wrench in tonight, I think, is one of our competitors, David Tooker, is not in the race. So he was 3rd in points, but I think that's another open spot here, if I'm not mistaken.
Was he not expecting the birth of a child today? I think I seen that somewhere.
Oh, that might have been what happened.
If not, Tooker, I very much apologize for saying that. But if you come back and look at this later, I believe I'd seen today in a text that he was expecting the birth of a child. So if so, congratulations. And a shout out to everybody if you were affected by those tornadoes and whatnot, that severe system that rolled through the Midwest here. I know Kentucky was hit the hardest with the long track tornado and whatnot, so I know some guys that live pretty close to there that run in the elite and whatnot, so if you can give a little bit, find the Red Cross, whatever local deal that you can give to people need, clothes and water and food supply, everything was taken from them in the blink of an eye. So if you can give, it'd be well appreciated there in the Midwest.
And I'm telling you, Chad is making it tough on our leaders here. I mean, No, they haven't been able to pass him yet, and they've brought Tyler Fody and the 2-car Tate Lytle up into this battle now for the lead before pit stops.
Yeah, I don't think that they can get around Chad. It's so hard to work the bottom. I just don't think. I think at this point, like you said, the top kills the tires. But now we're so far into this run that the top is the only way to get the runoff. Here's Weeks. We were talking about, was he saving tires? We've got top people on tires just blasting through them. Weeks and Hank here running side by side. This is a very treacherous part of the race. Would you not agree with that, Nick? I think the 56 might have got a piece of the wall again. You got guys on new tires, guys on old tires. 5 or 10 laps, you'll have guys on newer tires and guys on brand new tires. Like, everybody's kind of blasting around each other, and the time difference is huge.
Yeah, and we're in that window now. Like you said, you got all these tire strategies going on, and this is where your cautions happen. You know, somebody misjudges at the closing rate, or something along those lines.
I mean, we're seeing it right here. Yeah, look at the lap cars. So, Vincent Isabella and man, I can't remember who drives that 82 car or 83 car, but they're just blasting through. Josh Clark, and you got Ethan up here on the inside of Chad. He's trying to make that work.
Oh man, these lappers gonna make this real interesting here. They gonna try to go to the top, take the middle. Shoot the gap. They still got a lot of guys coming through on tires here. It's not just these 2 cars.
Wow, look at that. Who is that with the big run? Huge run from Josh Robin in the 8 there.
Now battle for the lead. This brought Tyler Fody right into it.
Oh, Burrell sideways.
Fody still... Does he have him clear? He does. I didn't think he was able to clear him.
I just heard Ethan Burrell queue up and give Chad a thank you for him losing the lead. But Chad's got to do this. He's racing for everything right now. Like, this is... Oh, we got Vincent Isabella out in front of these guys. Got into the fence.
And those are guys on new tires. They're going to be 3 wide in front of the leaders.
Absolutely incredible there, Alpha 2. I thought that was going to be big, and then the leaders were going to come blasting through. Well, can Fody get around Frankenfield?
I don't know. It'll be the 3rd driver to try. Nobody's been able to do it yet. We'll see. Chad's able to defend him on the top. I think they're gonna probably have to take the top away from Chad. They're gonna be able to do this.
Man, I think Fody is the guy that could and would possibly try to push Chad down into the corner.
Man, Ethan got real out of shape in the middle of 3 and 4. The back end of these cars are just so unstable on these old tires right now. Oh, Fody might get him.
Chad's going to try to fight back. Fody's going to get clear.
Chad's going to shoot the bottom now. He's going to try to take it back.
Oh, he's going to wash up.
Probably going to let the 37.
All his momentum there.
Yeah, I think now if you're Chad, this is when you pit stop. You gave up the lap. You held him off as long as you could. I think you kind of just throw in the towel here and take the pit stop.
Yeah, but, I mean, he's 2 laps down now. If he pits, he's going to be 3 down. And if these guys wait to pit and a caution comes out in 5 or 6, 7 laps, 3 down, you're not coming back from that. I mean, Chad's almost in a lose-lose. I think he's got to try to stay out a little bit longer than the leaders. He did a great job to hold him off as long as he did.
Man, I'm just watching the 37 go through 3 and 4, and every time he goes through there, the back end is just stepping out. These guys have their hands full right now on these 48, almost 50 lap old tires.
Oh yeah, I mean, some of these guys are really, really sliding around. on the screen right now, you're seeing Hank and Matthew and Garrison, Thomas Sherman. We've seen the 56. He was one of those lead cars. He has really fallen off.
Yeah, saw him make a little contact with the wall. I mean, he's only 2.5 back from the leader, so not too much of a gap to make up. But you know, he's probably looks like he's probably going to lose a couple spots right here.
Yeah, it looks like Weeks is going to get clear. Sherman's going to work on him.
I mean, Weeks, he dropped back. You know, we saw him start on the pole, drop back to 9th, 10th place back there, and slowly making his way back forward here. I know we've had a couple pit
there
stops.
Comes Chad. There comes Chad. Not to talk over you about to lead that stuff, but Chad is finally pitted. Worst case scenario for Chad now is a caution. If a caution comes out now, that would be not great.
Yeah, I think you'll see most of these guys start to come here in the next couple laps, or you know, over halfway into this race. I'm sure they can probably go another 10 laps on fuel, at least. But I think, you know, the best strategy is kind of split it down the middle. I'm kind of surprised they've gone over halfway through this run, actually.
I like the idea of running pretty long. Like, I think that's the better option. Give yourself some time later. Little fresher tires later. Basically, I want the car to handle better at the end than I do. Like, right now, I would rather manage 5 or 10 more laps than at the end of the race be 5 laps from winning and just be out of tires.
Was that 11 Matthew Weeks coming up pit road? Is that what I saw back there? It is. But yeah, you know, especially if you're one of these 3 leaders right here, Tyler, Fody, Ethan, and Tate, you know, you got a gap on the rest of the field. You can afford to pit a couple laps later than the rest of those guys and
I
come
think
out with fresh
Westergreen
tires.
just got up in the wall. David Westergreen's the wall for 2. It's basically kind of turned into Darlington down there off of 2. Everybody's just getting out and getting a piece of it.
Yeah, with the Weeks coming down there, I would expect some of his teammates like Ethan Burrell.
Oh, we got contact 56 and 15 on the front stretch. Wow. I don't know how Chad did not just get turned head on into the fence there off of 4.
Oh, man. Chad's on those fresh tires, too. See what happened. Oh, man. Yeah, I think I hit again.
Wow. I don't know how that car didn't turn head on into the Atlanta Trial right there.
Yeah, you got real lucky right there. Cause how many times you see netcode or something right rear you into the wall? Yeah, leader's still out here. Tyler Fody, Ethan Burrell, Tate Lytle, top 3. Kind of got a little bit of a gap on the rest of the field right now. About 3 seconds back to the 1 of Thomas Sherman. A couple guys coming down pit road.
Yeah, I think the race is going to look a lot different after pit stops for a little bit. With guys that have pitted are going to be way out front. I just want to take a minute to shout out the Byrd Racing 150. They are the sponsor tonight in the Elite SMRI production series. Jeff Green, you know, C2 Freight does a lot for us. Jeff's running up in the top 10 right now. About halfway through this race. I know Jeff lives close to where some of those storms were in Kentucky. Great looking C2 Freight machine as it slows down to come to pit road right as we're talking about him. Response Energy does a lot for us. Came on board this year. Looking at Brett Jones here.
Yeah, big mover. I mean, started 24th up to 8th place. Ethan Riesener up there too, and started 29th up to 9th right behind him. I know that, you know, a couple guys making pit stops in between there, but I mean, still having a good run tonight.
I think we'll see Fody pit here pretty soon. I think around 40 to go. I think this is when if I was out here, this is when I would probably pit right here at 40 to go.
It's like, I thought he was slowing down there, but coming around again. I think the tough part is finding a gap in traffic now to come down and pit. You know, you got guys flying around you on new tires and.
Well, I can confirm right now, this is the fuel window. Like, these guys are at the, like, I can see some telemetry for some cars out here right now, and I can see that they are less than 2 laps of fuel left. So, like, this is about all you got.
I'm surprised they're sticking it out for the whole fuel run, you know? I mean, most of the time, you kind of want to split the run in two, you know? Come pit right down the middle and then, you know, have equal runs
Man,
each
if
side.
Ethan wasn't speeding, that was a great entry.
We'll see what strategy works here. Splitting it down the middle like Matthew Week and some of those other guys, or if, you know, sticking it out a little longer, coming out with fresher tires is going to pay off.
I like the people pitting now over the people that pitted 10 laps ago.
Tate staying out there, though. Kind of surprised he didn't come down with the rest of them. Stayed out an extra lap compared to Fody and Burrell.
Well, I mean, Tate's points racing. He needed that point. He needed to lead a lap.
Oh, very true. He was coming into tonight the driver on that cut line.
Yeah, a lot of these guys need points, and maybe that's a lot of the reason that Fody did what he did. These guys stayed out all the way to make sure those other guys couldn't get a point. You know, it's a whole lot of games that could be played right there.
So for the time being, the 8 of Josh Robbins going to assume the lead as we cycle through here.
Yeah, it's all the guys that pitted at the right from the drop, right? They're out front now.
Yep. Yep, should be 8 of Josh Robin, 82 Josh Clark, 28 Vincent Isabella. Gonna have quite a gap on the rest of the leaders who just came down, but that gap's gonna close very quickly.
Yeah, what they're hoping for now is a yellow. You know, like those guys that short pitted and got way out here, they're like, hey, give me a yellow. I got the track position. Everybody, I mean, even though it's only been 2 or 3 laps for some of these guys, everybody will come back and get a set of tires. I mean, you're looking at, you know, he's got 18 seconds on Tyler Fody. Matthew Weeks was the first of the guys that were up front to pit.
And I think he's on a 2-stop strategy because he came down lap, or he might be able to make it on 1 stop. He came down lap 33 here, the 8 of Josh Robin. So, he'll probably be
I
pretty
think
close.
he's going to be short. He's going to be short based on what I'm seeing. 33 is
Man,
right
you might
there.
be right. Yeah, he might be a little short, so he's going to have to make one more stop.
I mean, maybe he saved a little bit of fuel. Who knows? I definitely, if I was him, wouldn't save fuel now. I just, you know, if I'm going to be short, I'm going to run it, you know, and hope for a yellow. I mean, he's got a long time to get a yellow. If he gets a yellow in the next 10 or 15 laps, he's going to be a top 5 car.
Yeah, Josh Clark and Vincent Isabella pitted around at the same time as well, so I think all 3 of those guys are going to be a little short here.
But look at Fody. Look at how the gap just is closing constantly. On board with Tyler Fody right now in 6th place. And he doesn't even have to be pushing. Like, he's just riding.
Yeah, and for comparison, up in front of him, Matthew Weeks pitted lap 52. And Fody came in, I believe it was lap 59, so 8 laps. And Fody just ran 32.2, call it a 32.3, compared to Matthew Weeks at 32.8, so half a second faster on 8 laps older tires.
And we do have some people pitting still right now. The 44 is going to pit, the 40, so that's 2 stoppers. Michael Goodman's coming in. 42's coming in.
You see just how fast he's closing up 20. He's going to blow by 28, Vincent Isabella.
Oh yeah, I mean he doesn't even have
Zach
to keep pushing.
Evans.
Now, one thing that kind of surprises me is the fact that he has left the 37 sitting. So I wonder if Ethan is like, hey, I'm going to save my tires a little bit here. You know, because 40 laps is still a long time on tires here in Atlanta. If Ethan's able to save his tires a little better, that would be huge.
Yeah, because we saw 37 close up a lot on pit entry and was, within 2 car lengths, I want to say, of the 40 coming down the pits. So he's about 2 seconds behind 40 car right now. So I don't know if he lost a little time on pit exit, maybe had a little slower stop.
Yeah, the front first through fourth right now, if it cycles to the end, it's going to be Fody, Burrell, Tate Lytle, and Josh Adams. Those 4 have kind of separated themselves from everybody else if it were to stay green. They all pitted right around the same lap. They all are kind of on the same cycle. It's kind of impressive for Josh Adams to be up in that mix too without a yellow. Starting in 14th place, was able to drive through some of the traffic. And as now for the rest of the race as well, Nick, you're going to have guys on fresher tires, older tires. Some of these guys that are pitting twice are making their second stops now. All those guys up front we were talking about with Debbie Short, they were 2 stopping it. They all just stopped. So that just Weeks has now got almost a 2-second lead on Fody, Burrell, Tate Lytle, Josh Adams. It's going to be among those 5, and I think that they will probably all make quick work of Weeks on those little bit older tires.
Yeah, they're still running about half a second faster than the 11 of Matthew Weeks right now. So I think Tate's going to be in a pretty good spot here. He pitted a lap later than 37 and the 40, and he's right on the bumper of the 37 still. So he might have the advantage here coming into the closing stages of this race. I know it's only 1 lap and it doesn't sound like much, but on a surface as old as this one in iRacing, I think that's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, and Tate's a smart driver. He's not going to abuse the tires.
You see Ethan just letting him go.
One thing I'm thinking here about Fody is he drove away from these guys. I think Fody might have used up some tire. So I am very curious to see how this is going to work out there towards the end of this race with Fody.
This could be pretty interesting coming down to these closing stages here because, the 11, I don't believe he's in the playoff hunt right now, is a teammate of Tate Lytle, so he might make this a little difficult on Fody here as much as he can. I know the tires are a pretty big factor, but...
Yeah, I don't even think it's about a teammate. You want to keep the lead in case there's a yellow at this point. This is the strategy you played. You got to race for this lead, but 8-lap older tires, I just don't know. I don't think you're going to see much of a fight. Not because he doesn't want to fight, just because he can't. Like, he's got nothing to fight with.
Ooh,
Fody misses the bottom though. He missed the corner a little bit.
Yeah, you see that just gets a better drive off though than the 11. I'll probably be able to make this pass down here pretty easily in turn 1 and 2.
And another car that's not too far out in front of Fody that is still fighting for his championship is Chad Frankenfield.
Yeah, Chad's still a lap down though, and a lot of guys going a lap down still with the pace the 40 and the 11 we're putting down. So I think at this point in the race, Chad's gonna have to have a lot of luck and a lot of things go his way here to come back and win this thing in advance of the finale.
The first thing he's going to need is a caution in the next 5 laps because Fody has got a little fresher tires now. Well, actually, a lot fresher tires. Chad was one of the early pitters. So it's not even going to be 5 laps, probably 2 or 3 laps. If they run 2 or 3 more green flag laps, Chad's going to get lapped again. And that's basically going to be it. Right now, 1 down, he can still fight But once this pass happens here in the next lap or two, it's might as well close it up. It's his championship hopes are done.
I'm kind of wondering what happened to one of our other playoff drivers. He was pretty close to the cut line, Hank Steinmiller. I mean, he was up there. We saw him running top 5 at the beginning of the race. It fell back a little bit, but he's sitting first car lap down back in 16th, so I don't know if he sped on pit road or...
Maybe
go back
so.
And look here. Look at his times.
There were a lot of penalties being handed out during the whole cycle.
Oh yeah, looks like he did come down and speed on pit road. So getting a hold is at 63, just mistakes, you know. Sometimes that's all the difference. You might be able to put the runs together, but it just comes down to who makes the least amount of mistakes sometimes in these playoff battles.
Fody is getting ready to make this pass on Chad Frankenfield as we speak. That's going to be basically right there, that pass is what is going to be the end of Chad Frankenfield's championship hopes. That will put him 2 laps down instead of 1. No lucky dog. Gave himself a bunch of damage early in this race and just never, we ran green. Never got an opportunity to fix it. One thing that has happened, Josh Adams has fallen from these guys. I don't think he hit the wall. Thomas Sherman just left the server. We saw him having a good run earlier. He must have had some kind of issue.
Well, I think the 95 of Adams came in a couple laps before these leaders, so he was able to close the gap on pit stops, and now they're pulling back away from him on pressure tires.
Well, 20 laps left to decide who's going to be in the championship race. To fight for this championship, Nick, what are you expecting here? You think we're going to stay green? Some of these guys that pitted earlier, because of the way the cars were handling, these last 20 laps are going to be hard on them, with the cars sliding around, moving around, not handling good.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm trying to look into whether the 19 of Tooker has a playoff waiver coming into tonight. I'm not sure, because if so, he'll be still in the battle here, and looks like Tate will probably take this last spot. But I mean, if not, there's a pretty close cut line down there. If Tooker doesn't have a waiver.
I think if by missing this race and getting 0 points, Tooker's going to be done. Because he's going to get passed by Tate. Garrison's led laps around at the front. He's going to get passed. Hank's going to pass him. I would say Tooker is... He's not... There's no chance Tooker's going to be able to fall back on points.
Oh yeah, looking at it now, I don't think there is no waiver rule in effect for tonight, so I think the 19 is probably going to be eliminated, not being our finale at Homestead. So yeah, this got a little tighter now, looking at the points. Looks like Tate, if things go, the running order doesn't change the rest of the race, if things go all right up there, looks like Tate will be all right, Fody will be all right. And it looks like
I think,
Hogan will probably make it over Hank Steinmiller with that speeding penalty.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much set in stone without a yellow. A yellow could change everything. But without a yellow, I think we're looking at Burrell, Fody, Tate Lytle, and Garrison Hogan as the final 4. But all it takes is one guy to wreck, and we get to box him up.
Very
And
true.
I think Tate is thinking win here. He's got a little fresher tire, got a little more pace. I think Tate is thinking, I'm going to win this thing.
And one thing that might come into play, well, maybe not for the battle for the playoffs, is that group who pitted around lap 30, 35, they made their second pit stop about 10 laps ago. So they're starting to, fly through the field. So I don't know. That might bring out a yellow at some point. You never know.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to see how this all shakes up here at the end. right on board with Tate here. See how much that wheel's moving here when we get to the corner. I think it's going to look a little tight and then lose the C. Yeah, look at that thing free up on corner exit. Look at that thing back steering.
Yeah, it looks like it might be a little worse down here in 3 and 4. I see a lot of cars out of control down here trying to get back to the gas.
Yeah, 3 and 4 is a much bumpier corner. You know, the lower you get in 3 and 4, it feels like it's more bumpy, but the bumps kind of keep you pinned to the bottom, whereas if you're up off the bottom, it seems to affect the car a little different.
And I don't know about you, but I've always felt like there's a lot more room in 1 and 2 compared to 3 and 4. 3 and 4, you got to keep the car a little more bound up than you do in 1 and 2. 1 and 2, you can kind of open the wheel a little bit more and let it sweep out to the wall, where 3 and 4, you don't really have that option.
Yeah, I feel like it might be something to do with 1 and 2 is just a little more racy, the way the corner is. You can run anywhere in 1 and 2, and you're seeing it right here with Tate moving up to the wall. Down in 3 and 4, I feel like if you don't run the bottom, you're just slower. Like, I just feel like 3 and 4 is more of a one-lane kind of corner. Tate's going to try to prove me wrong here. He's going to run up the track just a little bit.
And you might be listening in, like, you know what, Chris?
He just lost time doing it, though. I mean,
yeah, they're running.
Prove my point.
They're mirroring each other's laps right now. I mean, last lap was within 1/100th of each other. Fody pulling away a little bit, but
yeah, look at the big run he gets off the top of turn 1 and 2 here.
team run the bottom in 3 and 4 that time. See if the time reflects it a little bit.
I hope he's able to close up and give us a great finish here.
He was almost a 10th faster than the 40 Tyler Fody that time. So we'll see if he's able to keep it consistent. Chooses to run the bottom.
Yeah, I definitely think, you know, one thing that might be going into this is he knows, you know, not that you don't want to win. You want to win every race. But he knows that if things run like they are, he's going to race for a championship next week. That would be the only way that I think he's, you know, not moving up to the wall in 1 and 2 at this point to try to close up on Fody.
No, you see that time he's going back to the top. Looks like he got a little tight though.
Still looks like he carried some decent momentum off of there.
And Fody's just glued to the bottom, both corners, and Tate's kind of, he's been up top, he's been down low, been in the middle, kind of just trying out all these different lines, trying to run down the 40 Tyler Fody.
Yeah, we're looking at just 9 laps to go here.
Man, you see how high Tate is in that background there. Middle of the corner in 1 and 2, almost hitting the fence.
Yeah, but it gives him such a run. You know, it's the benefit of it.
Closed in about half a tenth that time, but he's going to need a little more than that.
Yeah, what he's going to
9 to
need
go.
is he's going to need Fody maybe to have a big slide, I think. Fody to have some kind of issue, get loose.
Tate is sailing it off into 3. Fody's kind of taking it easy and getting on the gas pretty hard, but Tate is just sailing it down into turn 3. As last time they ran within 1/1000th of a second of each other.
Look at Tate out there ripping the fence.
And it's always fun.
The fence in 3 and 4 as well.
And he's kind of in the middle back there, but it's always fun to see, when you have these options to try the top, try the middle, try the bottom, and be able to mirror each other's lap times no matter what line you run. I mean, that's always fun as a driver and to watch.
I think Tate in 1 and 2 is a little better, but down in 3 and 4, he just seems to lose time no matter what he does. I think Fode's really figured out how to run that bottom side really well.
Take a look at our top 5 here. Did we miss Josh Adams driving up in the top 5? Or was he always in the top 5?
We talked about him. Remember, we talked about how he short pitted and whatnot. Dylan Thomas is up to 6th. Garrison's in 7th, but I think Garrison will take that, move on, and get into the championship 4.
Good run by Dylan Thomas tonight, too. I mean, Dylan Thomas started 18th up to 6th. Trey Holmes up there, running 8th, started 25th. So, I mean, good runs by some of these guys in the top 10.
And Josh Robin is the first car that's on the 2-stop strategy, up to 11th.
Yeah, started 27th. Brent Jones back here.
Just 4 laps left here, coming to 3 to go. I think the only way we're going to see any kind of battle now is if we see a yellow.
Yeah, I agree. Tate's starting to lose some time now. He was within 0.8 of a second, now back to 1.2. So I think he might have used all the good stuff on those tires on that 2 car.
Tell you what, I don't think any of these guys up in the top 10 probably want to see a yellow outside of maybe Josh Adams. Well, Matthew Weeks probably wouldn't mind it. Trying to go and get the win. But I think all these guys that are going to be the championship 4, they would take it. Fode, obviously, winning the race, would love it to stay green. Fode works through the middle, 3 and 4. He'll see the white flag this time. White flag. We're going to go flag to flag tonight.
Yeah. Pretty impressed by these guys tonight. And Fode going for his 4th win on the season. That would put him out front of Ethan Burrell with 3 for the most wins this season.
Fode's tough to beat in these championship races, especially in this Xfinity car.
Yeah, I believe the championship in this series was here at Atlanta last season, and we saw Fode go out and win the race. So, and go back to back here at Atlanta and the Elite B Series.
Yep, Tyler Fode, Tate Lytle, Ethan Burrell, top 3. And I think those 3 are also going to be our 3 of our championship 4. Yeah, I'm pretty sure those 3 are going to be 3 of the 4. And the 4th one I'm looking here, I'm thinking that's going to be Garrison.
That's what it looks like. It's like to me.
Great run for Fode, great strategy. Kudos to all these guys being able to run green to the end. Josh Adams and Matthew Weeks finished side by side. That was where our classic Atlanta finish was. Look at those 2 come across the line. Incredible stuff there for Weeks and Adams coming across the line for 4th place.
As we look at our top 10 here, Fode taking the win, Tate finishing 2nd, and as we mentioned a little bit ago, guys like Dylan Thomas started 18th, finishing 6th place. Trey Holmes started 25th up to 8th place, and rounding out the top 10, Wyatt Nadel started 21st up to 10th. So a lot of these guys coming through the field tonight on this race that went flag to flag.
Yeah, it was a great race. We seen a lot of stuff, a lot of different pit cycle decisions. Obviously, none of the two stoppers ended up working out into the top 10. So two stop in a race just didn't work. They needed a yellow to come out before they made their second stop, and they just didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Robin almost got there. He got up to 11, so he about cracked the top 10 right there on that two-stop strategy.
Saw lots of tire fall off, lots of different strategies, lots of good racing. I think that the finish would have been a little closer if Tate didn't have to make sure that he didn't use the car up. There's Chad 24th. We're looking at here. His championship hopes came to an end tonight. It was already going to be an uphill climb coming into this thing, but he had pretty much threw it away there. 10, 15 laps into the race, hitting the wall a couple times. Well, we're joined now by third place finisher Ethan Burrell. Coming up to see us again, Ethan. I think it's pretty safe to say you're going to be in the 4 next week. You, Tate, Garrison, and Tyler Fody racing for a championship next week. What do you think?
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, man. It was a good one out here. Nice hard racing. No cautions, so it was a driver's race for sure. It was a good time.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun out there. We saw, all the groups working. We thought might have a shot there coming down the last pit stop. You gained a lot of ground on Fody coming in the pits, and then we thought you might have had something for him tire saving, but kind of just fell off. What'd you need there at the end?
Yeah, I mean that first run, he did a good job saving, and I was kind of saving behind the 56, and we were just getting held up by the lap traffic, and ended up kind of hurting the tires because it was so hard to pass at that point in the run, and Fody did a good job at saving enough to get around and jump out there. So um, yeah, I accidentally nailed that pit stop. I was skating that thing side to side, trying to get it slowed down in time, and was just trying to go out there and stay nice and smooth. I knew he'd be kind of saving his tires back to me a little bit, and just ended up letting Tate go by me because he was pushing hard, and I don't know. I just some clouds rolled in. I think the track started to cool down there, and I was just starting to slide all over the place, and last 15 laps or so, I wasn't helping myself at all. I was just kind of hanging it out there and kind of accepting defeat on the fighting for the win. But all in all, I mean, it was a really fun one out there. I had a good time.
Yeah, that quote needs to be remembered there. I accidentally nailed that pit stop.
Oh yeah,
That's a great one.
yeah. I'm usually really careful getting into pit road because I'm one of those guys that I don't like to push the issue with something like that because I just I'd rather give up time on the track than ruin my whole race. But yeah, I was scared. I was just happy it didn't lock it up and spin out or anything.
Well, all right, Ethan. Good luck in the 4 next week. Anybody you want to thank tonight? And one last question for you. Take me back to that battle there for the lead when you guys were trying to get around the 15 out there. That looked like it was pretty hard racing there. Did you expect that fight, Chad?
Uh, Unfortunately, I did expect that fight, but I still wasn't happy about it. I I felt like I did a good job taking care of my stuff, and I don't know. I mean, I realized he was getting lapped or something, and I mean, he's out there in a must win, so I understand him, trying to fight for it, but um, I felt like it definitely hurt me, but I mean, it is what it is. He wasn't like being reckless or anything. It was just so hard to get by him, and he had newer tires, and I was hoping he would kind of just pull away from us with his tire advantage. So I don't know if he had damage or something, but anyway, I mean, it's a good race, and just want to shout out all the guys at Pro Edge Racing. We've been having a really good season, and I'll have Garrison Hogan in the Final Four with me fighting it out, and Tate's cool too, I guess, even though he's not technically a teammate to us. So um, congrats to Fody getting the job done. I think that's 2 in a row for him now. So we'll have to try to keep him from getting 3 in a row, of course, and Shout out to my mom and my grandma who are probably watching this thing, and thanks to you guys for watching and putting on the show for us.
All right, Ethan. Well, got one more week. Come back and see us next week, and good luck in the championship fight next week.
All right, thank you, boys.
Now we're joined by our second place finisher and another one of our final four for next week. So you get to go fight for a championship next week, Tate. Take us through their last 10, 15 laps there and the strategy to get yourself in a position to be able to race for a win tonight.
Yeah, I never really felt like I had anything for maybe with like 20 to go, I was like maybe, but still I was gaining on Fody probably only by like half a tenth, and it was gonna be pretty hard to. I was gonna need to catch a lap car at the right time or something to get by him, but yeah, second place all three races this round. First one should have been third, but still credit for second. Um, yeah, I think we're obviously trending in the right direction. Phoenix is probably my worst oval track on the sim, though, so we'll see what we can do. But we've also seen some interesting things happen at Phoenix in this league before, so you never really know. I'm trying to think who else. It's me, Fody, Ethan, and Garrison. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what we're thinking with Tooker not racing tonight. We're pretty sure Garrison's going to get that fourth spot.
Yeah. So I'm already thinking that just solely off of pace, I'll be about P4. But you never know. A little practice and a little luck. You never know. Yeah, Phoenix, old Phoenix, I love, but this new Phoenix. I mean, like when I say old Phoenix, I mean like 2011 Phoenix. But ever since they repaved it, I don't know. I never really caught on, but it'll be fun nonetheless. Fun to go race for two championships next week. Me and Nick, and I don't know where you're at in points. You got to be close for the Wednesday series, so maybe us three, and someone else be racing on Wednesday, and then racing those guys on Monday. So
Yeah, short of a catastrophe, I'll be in there with you guys.
well, it is the next gen car, so don't count your stars too quick.
And it is Charlotte. We'll be wide open.
Yeah, it'll be probably flat out high line. Don't give it up. So it'll be more fun for me and Nick than the rest of you guys, but it'll be good to go and see if we can't get a championship. I've been league racing for a long time and had plenty of close calls, but have never quite gotten a championship. So hopefully that'll change the next week and a half or so.
Well, yeah, I mean, great run tonight. Pretty much a regular up here talking to us after these races now. But yeah, I mean, Phoenix next week. You're saying probably fourth place car on speed, but I mean you never know. I mean we didn't know who the champion was last year until like half an hour after the race, so
Yeah,
never know what could happen.
Yeah, last year, I mean, Gerald was killed in like 20th place. Tucker was gonna get it, I think, and then his computer, how do I say, stopped working.
Transmission failure. That's what we're going to call
Yeah,
it.
yeah, blew an engine, and then Dingle Ding and Dingle Dong decided to wreck each other, and then yeah, somehow Gerald got the championship. So, like I said, I mean, sometimes you never really know. I've seen Tucker be at that same spot. It's very rare that the fastest car in a Final Four race actually wins it. I was fastest in an Xfinity Final Four probably last B season at Charlotte, and between some bad luck and me being a little too aggressive, we saw that go downhill pretty quick. So never know, man. But I'll let you guys get with it. You got old Photo Byrd to interview still, but shout out to Belly Up Sports, Days Gone By, you guys, Chad, even though he raced me like a what tonight. And yeah, we'll catch y'all Wednesday. Me and Nick will be sipping margaritas while you guys clawed each other's throats.
Well, all right, Tate. Thanks for coming up here and talking to us, and hopefully you come back and talk to us again next week. Good luck in the Final Four. And the Chad thing, I think everybody who ran up front tonight didn't really care for getting raced that hard by a lap car.
Yeah. No, I told him that. I was like, you're pretty low on everyone's list right now. And he gave us the I don't care speech. And then after the race, he was trying to apologize. We're like, yeah, no one cares now. So later.
All right, see ya.
Tyler Fody tripped and fell on his way here, guys. Give us a second. There he is. We are joined now by race winner and our another Final Four entry in the next week, Tyler Fody, going for another championship. We saw you win one last time. Nick and I were pretty close to watching that one. Take us through your night tonight, getting a win, and looking forward to next week.
Yeah, pretty solid. I wish we ran this track for the Xfinity title every year, but no, it was cool. Started 7th or 8th and was pretty similar to last week. Just wanted to ride with the front group, try and get a little bit better tire wear, and then the second half of the run, start making the passes, and then just repeat that on the second fuel run. But got a little bit held up that first run, getting through some of the guys, and we got spaced out. But then Chad did his whole thing and held everyone back up for me, so I got back to him, and then from there just had to make sure didn't speed on the pits. The only other thing I was worried about was, I came in with Ethan, but Tate went a lap longer. And back to last week, Tate was catching me right at the end, and I was worried now that he had a tire advantage that it'd be even worse. So the first little bit of that run, I was babying it, really just trying to equalize with him, and I guess it paid off. Those last 10 laps or so, we kind of just stabilized the gap. So happy to go back to back here, and now we just got to focus on Phoenix.
Yeah, man, I was going to say, getting hot at the right time here, talking to you for the second week in a row in victory lane here. Phoenix seems to be a decent track for you. What do you think your chances are? I'm guessing, with as stacked as this Final Four is for next week, you're probably going to have to win the race. So how you feeling?
Yeah, I don't know about me and Phoenix. Really not one of my favorite tracks at all. But I know a couple of the guys that I'm racing against also don't like it that much, except for Ethan. If I'm being honest, I think Ethan will be the favorite going into this. Likely be chasing him, but I don't know. We'll put some practice in, see if we can find something. And it is the new rescan, so maybe I'll be better on this one. I don't know, but we'll just have to find out when we get there.
I think this might be the first time that this has happened, but all three drivers came up and said that they didn't care for the way Chad raced them tonight when he was a lapper. But that's pretty incredible. We didn't even have to goat you into it. You just came in here and said it. But lots of people racing hard tonight. Chad was in a tough spot, had to race hard. But anybody you want to thank, and man, who do you think is going to be the guy to beat next week? Do you think it'll be you? Because everybody's come in here and said they're going to be fourth. So
no,
somebody's got to be
be
first.
Fourth. No, I'm fourth. It'll be me fourth, Garrison third, then probably Tate battling Ethan for the win. I think Ethan's going to be the favorite, 100%. So we'll see. I don't know. Anything can happen, though, as we saw before. So I just got to thank the Lake Norman guys. So shout out to Hank. He gave it his all tonight. He was going to have to beat Garrison by a few spots. Unfortunately, sped on pit road. I think he would have been there or thereabouts if he hadn't. So it was going to be close. But heck of a season from him. Barberry, Dylan, Westergreen, all those guys for running. Especially Dylan from 18th to 6th. Quiet night, top 10. So shout out to them. Shout out to Days Gone By, sponsoring the car, Blue Egg Marketing. You guys, hopefully I'll be back here next week trying to go 3 in a row talking to y'all. Whether it's first, second, or third, I think I'll be happy to be running that good at Phoenix. But, yeah, now we just got to go practice a little bit and hopefully come out on top next week.
Yeah, and this has been a down year for you too, Fody. Last season, your average finish was second. I think you've dropped a little bit from that. How many championships are you going for in a row right here?
This is just 2. just 2 in Xfinity. Yeah, this is my 4th appearance in a row. So, it just shows how hard it is to win. We only barely got in this year anyway with missing 4 races. So, just happy to be back.
You feel like a target's on your back?
I don't know, man. Me and the Pro Edge guys go way back. So, and now I'm fighting all of them pretty much, even though Tate's in a Chevy. Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I think we're going to be chasing some of them next week. So,
well, all righty, Fody. Congrats on the win. Congrats on another championship appearance, and come back and talk to us. Hopefully, even if you don't win the championship, you're in the top 3. We get to talk to you next week.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Take care.
All right. Good luck next week. Well, Nick, it ended up being a pretty tame race tonight in the Byrd 150. Not a whole lot of intrigue at the end about who was in and who was out. We kind of put a bow on it. we knew who it was based on what had happened without a yellow. What do you think about our championship four, and who's your pick to win it all?
I mean, it's such a stacked championship four. I think these guys will be racing pretty hard next week. We see a lot of action typically at Phoenix with hard on the brakes. It's a shorter track, so I think it's a good finale next week. I think we're in for a good race. But man, I don't know. If I had to pick one, I think it sounds like Ethan's probably going to be the one to beat. Nobody has a lot of confidence in themselves from the way it sounds. From Tate and Fody and Ethan, even though we just talked to him. But yeah, I don't know, man. Who's your pick?
I picked Tate when the playoffs started. I'm going to stick with Tate. He hasn't let me down so far, so I still think it's going to be Tate. He's going to be the guy that comes out on top. I think he's going to find a way to get it done. I do think Ethan will probably be the fastest guy next week at Phoenix.
Well, alrighty, man. Any closing thoughts before we thank our sponsors?
Man, it was a good race tonight. Lots of strategy, lots of green. Obviously flag to flag. It's always nice to see these guys be able to run flag to flag. Lots of different lines out there. It was fun watching them rip the fence. Hopefully next week it'll be a good race as well. I don't look for Phoenix to get multi-groove. I know we got a new scan of Phoenix, so I'm not sure what's in store for us next week. But hopefully it's a good race. You're going to have, crazy restarts. Crazy start with the dog leg. I do not think I'm going to put this out there, and I'd bet the farm on it. We will have some yellows next week at Phoenix.
Oh yeah, I definitely say so, 100%. Being a shorter track and close everybody is, I think we're in for some yellows next week. We were fortunate this week.
Yep, and congrats to all our Final Four. Everybody who fought the season to get here. Everybody who has, stayed in the elite, gotten better. We've talked about it tonight. Dylan Thomas with his strong run. Trey Holmes, Wyatt up there. Jeff Green, C2 Freight, everything they do for elite. Came home ninth. Hopefully next week, it'd be nice if Jeff Green could get in the top three and, come up here and give him a plug himself. They do a lot for us. So, Jeff, if you're watching this later, it's time, get up here and talk to us. But thanks to all you guys for tuning in. I know Scott Crump is probably watching somewhere, trying to take notes for some way that this is going to help him on Wednesday night. Thanks to Ryan up here in the booth. He's dealing with a little bit of sickness tonight, so hopefully he can get to feeling better, be able to make his trip this weekend. Thanks to Chad, all he does for Elite. The new F1 League, it's starting in about a month's time. If you're wanting to get into F1, you're wanting to join Elite, right there it is. Go over there. They held their first test session last night. And if you're just wanting to run the B car, the A car, anything, come check Elite out. It's a good group of guys over here. We're not just saying that. And thanks for tuning in. Come back and watch us next week. Until then, guys, we'll see you later.